The guns of war bellow across Iraq's battle-torn cities. Veteran paratrooper and army chaplain Rabbi Avraham Horowitz is not a stranger to war.
I was in Iraq once in 2003, and then I was there a second time in 2009.
He survived several tours in both Iraq and Afghanistan when he rallied to support Jewish troops in these war-torn zones. In Afghanistan, during the Jewish festival of Sukkot, where Jews lived for 7 days in a temporary hut, Rabbi Horowitz escaped with his life when their shelter took a direct hit from an incoming RPG. As the sirens sounded, warning of an impending attack, Rabbi Horowitz opted to remain in his sukkah with his fellow soldiers.
We built a sukkah, and we were sitting in the sukkah, and the siren went off, which means that you're supposed to go to a shelter. It was in Bagram Air Base, and I said to the soldiers, I'm not going to go run out and look for a shelter. I'm going to stay in the sukkah if they want to stay with me, which they did. And then a rocket hit the shelter.
A consequence of blind faith or a valued life teaching? He was following a Talmudic doctrine that he had learned from his pious father during the Yom Kippur War in Israel, that in times of danger, the safest place to be is in the sukkah.
I remember when I was in Yerushalayim during the Yom Kippur War, and we were sitting in the sukkah and we had to paint the bulb. And my father said that the sukkah is the safest place to be.
At the time of his 2003 tour in Iraq, Rabbi Horowitz remembers the strong spiritual impression which a small Sefer Torah had on his fellow Jewish soldiers.
Someone from New York sent me a small Sefer Torah, which happened to be Sefer Torah that was used by the Baba Rebbe. He used to dance with it. And I brought it to Iraq, and when I would meet the Jewish soldiers, I would take out the Sefer Torah, I would put tefillin on them, and any Jewish soldier, it doesn't matter what background, they usually started crying.
These were battle-hardened special force commandos who were at the time bunkered down in a savage war.
They knew what it meant, maybe even not consciously so much, but subconsciously. They knew what the Sefer Torah is, what tefillin. So it really, that itself was very special. In Kabul, as a matter of fact, I was asked by the Israeli embassy in the United States, they asked me to look for the synagogue there.
It was in Kabul that he met the last surviving Jew of Afghanistan, Sablon Simantov.
And I looked for the synagogue. It took me about an hour to find it. It was in the main street in Kabul, and I was asking the people. I was with a translator, and we were asking where the synagogue was. No one either didn't want to tell us or they didn't know. And finally, we looked up. I see someone wearing tefillin, and that's how we knew where the synagogue was. He told me that he was arrested by the Taliban before 9/11, and he was told to become a Muslim. He said no, so they arrested him. After a few months, they released him, and he took care of the synagogue.
And as the war raged, this modest and unpretentious rabbi sought to invoke one of time's most valued prescriptions to peace, the study of Torah.
Yeah, there was a Marine who went to YU, who was stationed in Kuwait. And before I went to Iraq, I was in Kuwait, and we used to study every day.
While RPGs and rocket fire whistled through the air, Rabbi Horowitz was fighting his own battle, that of Shas and Poiskim with the Torah commentaries of previous generations. Living life with inspiration here from the Kotel Maravi in the holy city of Jerusalem.